Alright, seems that you're in. Alright, stand by.
Sure, it looks like it.
Alright, welcome to day 3. And it's about the last day for instruction till Thursday, which will go on day 4, which is your practical live fire exercise. Today we're going to be going over land navigation, vehicle PID, mounting, dismounting out of friendly airframes and vehicles. And then we're going to end it off with convoy procedures and then CQB and mount. You got any questions before we begin?
No, Sergeant.
Alright. Alright, go ahead and follow Sergeant Marshall and I to the classroom. Alright, sure, you know what to do. Take your soft cover, and find a seat to go to the box, grab yourself a marker dagger, then find yourself a seat. Just to grab that marker dagger in there, but I'll give you mine. That's the intro. Give me a second. Stand by. Go ahead and find your seat. I'll give you your marker dagger. Alright, here's your marker dagger.
Get the chairs. Does that let you? Oh, wrong thing. Here, just put it down and move over here. Just hold your Windows button and do sit down. All right. so we're gonna go over right now. It's gonna be a little bit of map reading and contour launch terrain features, the pros and cons of such during movement and maneuver. So, Sergeant Smith, you happen to have the first slide ready?
I nope, stand by. Do you see it?
Yes. Alright, so you have a map right off of? Okay. Yes? Yes, Sergeant. Alright. Excellent. Alright, so the first lines that make up the grids, your your northing and your horizontal lines are your vertical lines. Those lines make up a grid. Next slide. So we're gonna go over better. Okay. So we're gonna go on how to give out a a 2, 4, and 6. Well, 2, 4, 6, and all the way up to an 8-digit grid. 2-digit grid is pretty easy, scrolling all the way out. It's gonna have one number top, one number on the sides, and the bottom. That's fucking crazy inaccurate. So we never use that. Now going to a 4-digit grid. Uh, that will get you within 1,000 meters. So if you're starting off some kind of briefing, you maybe could work off of a 4-digit grid just to get everybody in a general location and then go from there. Really does not have any tactical value. Fucking giving out a 1,000 meter fucking grid. Now if we scroll in a little bit more, you will have 3 numbers top and bottom and 3 numbers on your sides. This will allow us to get a 6-digit grid reference. Now this is getting in the right direction here because we went from a 4-digit 1,000 meter where grid ref to a 100 meter, from going from a 4 to a 6. So that's a lot better if you're trying to give somebody a location of a object, person, place, whatever. Now, if we wanted to get really accurate with it, we could go to an 8-digit grid ref. Let's see if you would zoom in on the power plant. You see it. It says grid ref 1516. I would point, but we can't get that shit anymore. So right there,
Demoted.
kind
What do
of
you mean
zoom in.
demoted?
And I'm gonna put up something real quick. Make sure.
Oh, push stocks not working.
So you're going to break up that area into tints. So right now,
Hello?
5 is halfway, and without having my map tool, kind of hard to do, but I think you can get the gist of it. So you always start from left to right, top, bottom to top, just like when you're reading a map grid.
Hmm.
So you break it into tints. So let's see. Let's say we wanted to meet up here, or this was my location, the blue dot. You see that?
Yes, Sergeant.
All right. So that blue dot's my location. Right now, we know that this grid, being a 6-digit grid, is going to be grid 155161. So we know that. So that gets somebody within 100 meters of our location. But we don't want them to search 100 meters, so we can get them 10 meters squared. Now, to do that, we're going to add 2 more digits in. The fourth digit for grid ref 155 is going to come from breaking down this.
That should be.
So let's say
Is it better? No?
it's going to
Maybe that's better.
be
There we go.
4. So all you got to think is that you're moving this line here.
Yeah, what do you mean, Milano
Space.
Espita? What do you mean by, demoted?
And that is going to be your 4th number in the first part of
What do you mean
grid
by, demoted?
1554. Now we need to find the 8th number for the second half. Well, you're going to go from this line and work your way up. And let's see, that would be 1. We'll call it 2. So finish it all off. It would be 1554, 1612. See how?
Right, guys. I've
See
come.
how I got that?
Yes, Sergeant.
All right. So it's pretty easy. Not something we use too often, but when you do uh, land nav for your squad training, which I'm sure you will do at some point, you'll have nothing but your binos, a compass, and your map to get you from one location to the other. First off, finding where you are on the map, because you're gonna get fucking dropped randomly somewheres, and then you'll have points you have to visit on the map after you find your location. I like it. A lot of people hate it, but I think it's fun. Just so I feel better, give me at least the 6-digit grid ref for the battalion, HQ, and armory. Battalion HQ.
4 digits. You said
6. Just give me the 6.
6. Okay. That would be 152174.
Yep. All right. Good. All right. So I'm pretty confident you know what's going on here. All right. So that is your 6-digit. That's, like I said, that's the most we're going to be dealing with on a regular basis. But it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to kind of brush up on an 8-digit grid. Let's see. So that is reading grids. Next, lasts about a click or so. About a click. We have this, y'all. Let's press the wrong button. We have this here. So, well, let's just look at everything.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just AFK for quite some time
Here
because I'm trying to fix me sandwich.
is an MSR, main supply route, dark yellow, solid yellow lawn, thick yellow. This is an ASR or alternate supply route. The thinner beige colored, I guess, tan colored road is an ASR. This is, let's see if we can find it. Yeah, so here, that's a power line here that runs parallel to that ASR. If you happen to be a pilot, something you need to watch for. You have brown and red lines. That is contour lines. Now, depending on how far you zoomed in to the map. So right now, if you look in the bottom left, I don't know how far you are, but right now my contour interval is 2 meters. So that tells me each one of these brown lines is 2 meter in elevation. So when you have a red line here and then another red line next up on elevation, the amount of brown lines in row will total up to a red. So just say for shits and giggles to make it easy, you had uh, 5 of these brown lines. Well, actually 4. So you had 4 brown lines, and then your next one was a red one. So it'd be 2, 4, 6. Excuse me. You're gonna have 4 and 1 red. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. The 10th would be a red. So you know every red contour line is going to equal 10 meters. So you can skip counting all of your brown lines and you just go red line to red line, knowing that it is 10 meters. So go up a little bit. You see hill 58 right here. A good
Yes, sir.
example. So you got a red, red, red. So that's telling me right there that this is, so from here to here is you're dropping down. Uh, well, from here to here, you're dropping down 10 meters. And then from here to there, you're dropping another 10 meters. So roughly, this is 58. So this would be 56, 54, 52, and then 50, 40 meters, 30 meters above sea level. Now, the only really good thing to use contour lines for is identifying uh, very steep cliffs and or terrain. Obviously, because the steeper it is, the slower you're going to move. Real life and in Arma. So you want to obviously not punish your guys by making them climb a steep ass hill, but if you're in a combat environment, you personally don't want to be caught on a steep hill because your movement is slowed and you come under contact while you can't move fast, it just makes for a bad day. So just keep in mind the terrain around you and what you're dealing with. You want to use it to your positive, not to your disadvantage. All makes sense?
Yes, Sergeant.
Excellent. Let's see. So he has the slots, but so blue obviously indicates water. When you scroll in pretty good, you see green patches. That signifies uh, vegetation with a military significance. So it offers a little bit better concealment from the air and the ground. All right. So we're gonna go on with our first terrain feature. Let's see. No, don't want to slope there. All right, let's go in this jungle mess here. Start in grid ref 09er17. We're gonna kind of look at this area. You there?
Yes, Sergeant.
All right. So each one of these areas here is a hilltop, 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 and the number that corresponds with it is its height above sea level. We use that for just a reference point. Uh, you know, hilltop, so and so, just to get everybody's eyes on the same location, or as a rally point, a meetup point, fallback point, whatever. Now, obviously, having height above an objective is uh, a bonus. It's not guaranteed. It doesn't have to happen, but it's nice. Um, Using a hilltop uh, for multiple things, such as getting eyes out. Let's just say, for instance, we're on top of,
I see you on
pushed up
Twitch.
movement on top of
Huh?
Hilltop 228, and we are
Go fix
looking
yourself.
down on top of
Mommy told me to tell you. He go fix himself.
obviously, it's a great place to get eyes down, do a little quick recon as you're looking down on your possible AO. Or if we need to move, it's a great eyes if we need to move the right direction, whatever direction you might need to travel. You just get a quick recon and you can see how, you know, good or bad your uh, route will be. Now, you don't want to spend a fucking vacation up there. You don't want to unpack your bags and put up a fucking picnic on a hilltop. Uh, One, it's good for what I just said, but it's not the place you want to be caught with your pants down by any kind of surprise. Uh, if an enemy force happens to pop up while you're fucking sleeping, or somebody's not covering their sectors, or everybody, like what normally happens, everybody's on a fucking hilltop, everybody has their eyes fixated at the fucking AO. Well, people that should be covering their fucking sectors aren't. So let's just say, for the shits and giggles, they seriously uh, drop their sectors. Now you have fucking possible enemy platoon encircling you. They break off a fucking squad around you. Well, you think, oh, okay, well, we got fucking, the high ground. It's going to be easy. Well, one, they call IDF and then you're fucked because you have nowhere to go. 2, the more the enemy pushes on you, the harder it is for you to see them. So they start pushing up on you. You got to get closer to the fucking edge to look down on them. All fucking math, trigonometry, angles, all that stupid shit. So you got to put your ass out in the wind to get better eyes on them. You know, you want to kill them before they kill you, so you don't want them to keep pushing up on your position. So, where it has its advantages, has its disadvantages. So, it could be a bad point for you when you get engaged from multiple sides. Now, the other disadvantage of the hilltop is people do not have discipline enough to fucking crawl to the edge and get eyes out. They'll either fucking crouch and duck walk to the front to the edge, or stand up and then decide to fucking go prone. Uh, Enemy can easily see us more than a click away when your fucking body is uh, silhouetting against a fucking blue sky. It's fucking pretty damn easy to identify. So that's some positives and some negatives of the hill. Next one is going to be a ridge. So a hilltop or multiple hilltops will create a ridge line. So let's just take this for example, since we're kind of stuck on 228 right now. So from 228 to 172 to 156, 120. So this is all, that's all ridge lines. It just happens to draw like the fucking Big Dipper. Imagine that. So that's all a ridge line. Um, it's great, a ridge line, for your movement from one location to the other, from base to a fucking AO. So let's just say the land here was a little bit flatter, and we're still assaulting Certa. So I would perch my guys on that side of the ridge line, as close to the ridge as possible without fucking uh, skylining. Now, by pushing, another color here. By having your guys so far up on a ridge line, if you come under contact as you're fucking in movement, you have options being that high up to the ridge line. Option one would be to use another uh, terrain feature, which I'm going to go over in a minute, but a saddle. Instead of going over a fucking hilltop, you can take a saddle and move your guys behind defilade out of contact of the enemy. Now, if you happen to be careless about your movement and say you're down middle of the ridgeline, it's going to take you a little bit to change direction and bound your guys team by team back up behind defilade. Whereas it's fucking effortlessly and quick when you travel close to the ridgeline. Down here, it takes time. You're not gonna fucking change direction and move this way towards the enemy. I mean, eventually you will, if you have the advantage. But you always want to get your guys in cover, concealment. So I just wouldn't. And like I said, say this ground happens to be steeper and you have to fucking bound back that way, your guys are gonna be moving at a fucking snail's pace. And heaven forbid, fucking piece of armor rolls up or borders. Also, by traveling up high close to the ridge, um, any kind of flanking maneuver from the enemy from your right flank will be identified quicker. You'll see them come up over the ridge line, and it'll be easier for you to deal with it. You know, if you're down there, they'll be up over the ridge line, and then they'll have fucking a little bit better position on top of you. And fuck, if they flank you from both sides, then you'll be really up shit's creek. So you always want to give yourself the advantage. All right. Next one is a valley. So some of this bullshit here. All right, so that's hilltop blue. So here in yellow. Oh, that is going to be a valley. All up in here. Usually where ASRs and MSRs are valleys. Valleys are good for fast travel in a convoy. Personally, nobody wants to fucking do a foot patrol in a valley. Just not a good place to be. It gives you just as much less of an option as it does when you're traveling low or the middle of a fucking ridge line. You just give yourself less options. So, if you are in a valley, I would travel fast, keep halts to a minimum, especially if you're on foot. Convoy just as much, because our Vics are force multipliers and carry extra ammo on top of the fucking 50 and Mark 19 that we utilize. Identify areas that could possibly be uh, a surprise attack, like this little fucking hiccup here. That would be a great place to mount a uh, surprise attack on enemy convoy or foot patrol. I can have your guys up on these hills. You can have a fucking platoon right there. Now, obviously, shooting at each other is fucking not good, but at least you're shooting down. You're not shooting directly across. But you could have your fucking platoon right there, split up 3 hilltops, and just fucking put overlapping firepower and destroy the enemy. So obviously the enemy can do the same. So keep that in mind when traveling down in the valley. That's a lot of shit. That gives soldiers right now problems, because fucking Afghan Afghanistan has fucking huge mountain ranges, ridge lines, all that good shit. So always use terrain features to your advantage. Next one is a I'm having a brain fart here. Give me a second.
Fresh.
No, no, not a draw. A saddle. Sorry. So like I said earlier, if we were up here, we were up here, we were moving in this direction, and we did get it to contact from our fucking left flank. Instead of using a fucking hilltop, we have multiple places that we can fucking scurry off to. So in between hilltops, you have low points. I'm kind of making a fucking jumble mess here. But you have low points. And those low points are your fucking saddles. I'd suggest using them. Don't make you guys go over fucking hilltops. Obviously, keeps your silhouette down. Keeps some idiot from fucking possible skylining. And it could save you an extra fucking travel time trying to get from one side of the depth to the other away from enemy fire. So obviously you want to take the quickest and shortest route possible to do that. And to do that from one side to another of a fucking ridge line, you use a saddle. Now also, uh, it covers somewhat of your movement from the left and the right flanks as you're crossing a saddle because you're in a low area and you have high. So you do have some protection from your flanks. As long as you're not crossing in a saddle where it is fucking, you know, fucking enemy on two hilltops. It's always the danger of this profession. You don't fucking know where everybody's at all times. So you got to make a decision even if it's wrong. So, but that is a saddle and it gives you uh, easy movement from one side of the ridgeline to the other. All right. Next one is a draw. Draw is one of my personal favorites. A draw will get you from a ridgeline to a valley, or vice versa. So instead of walking up a, well, this is actually not a good spot because that is a good spot. So instead of walking up here, which is not the best spot, even though it is kind of a saddle in a draw right here, but to get, say, from here to here, we can use this draw. So if we want our fucking foot patrol on that ASR, and we needed to get up on top of this ridgeline to cross over or do something, we can use this draw. You can tell what a draw is because it has these inward facing um, terrain features, fucking contour lines. This covers you from movement on your flanks as you're pushing up, instead of having your ass way out in the open. Stay on that side, because obviously that is not a saddle right there. If you on top of there, you'll be skylining like nobody else's business. So now, if you have to use a draw, I would not commit to the very bottom of it. Not skylining over the edges, over definitely, but keep your guys up on the side of the draws. It'll allow reactive contact a hell of a lot easier than committing them to the very bottom of the draw. Now, the lines that I had drawn out that I fucking rid of, like here and here, roughly, that is a spur. That is the upper part of a draw. Any questions so far?
No, sir.
All right. Now, you did mention one a minute ago, a fucking depression. This is probably the best you're gonna get for depression. Up in here, up in this area, will be your depression. You are surrounded by high ground with low ground in the middle. So that is not a place you want to be at all. If you have to pass through this area, I suggest passing through and sticking up high with the fucking ridgeline. I wouldn't go, even though you're protected from all sides from eyes. If somebody is up there, it, you know, it's a fucking kill box. So you don't want to do this. I would rather go up and fucking take that route to be on the safe side. Now, vice versa, if you wanted to lure enemy squad into that location, or they happen to stumble into it, fucking utilize a fucking depression for your benefit. Let's see. We're gonna go over cliffs. The closest thing we have to cliffs on this map, if you go up to the northeast of the map, you should see some very tightly packed terrain, elevation, or contour lines, to be more specific. So you can see, I mean, specifically here, that is very packed. That is the closest we're going to get to cliffs here. So obviously, cliffs can be to your advantage, disadvantage by uh, if you're in movement going towards that castle, you can use the cliffs as a natural blockade on your right flank. Chances of you taking contact from that direction become greatly reduced. Whereas taking contact from your left flank will be greatly increased. Now, it leaves you one less fucking option for movement by using that as a natural barrier. Because if enemy attack is less than likely to come that way, you using that direction to fucking break contact and bound that direction will become very hard and quite possibly a fucking death notice because you fucking just walked into some heavily uh, rocky areas that fucking people could fall. Your movement gets slowed. You only have certain ways out. It just could be bad. So just keep that in mind when you're using a cliff as a natural blockade. All right. Did I miss anything, Sergeant Smith? Okay, we're working on microdaggers now. He gave you a microdagger, correct?
Yes, Sergeant.
Excellent. All right. So pop it open. Press hotel key. You will have some fucking random numbers, but they're not so random. I'll tell you what they are. The top is in-game time. Bottom left is the bearing in which your body is facing, not your head. You can turn your head all you want, free look. It's not going to change your microdagger. The bottom middle is the grid reference your body is standing in. And then, last but not least, cardinal direction on the bottom right. That too does not change with free look. It only changes with your body turning. Now you can hold control and then hit H, and you can bring your micro dagger full size and kind of interact on it, or interact with it. You have your mouse over your screen. You will get a yellow line with a arrow where the cursor is. You see that?
Yes, Sergeant.
All right. Where that arrow tip is, you have a kind of shaded box with some more numbers in it. Every time you move the arrow around, those numbers move. First one is going to be the grid ref that the arrow is in. That way you are, but where the arrow is. Next, it is the meters and elevation change between you and that arrow. Next, it gives you the distance from where you're standing to the end of that arrow. So where we're at, and we put it roughly on the recruit training classroom to the north, it tells us that we 0.10 kilometers away, which if you translate that to meters, it means that we're fucking 100 meters away. Don't give out, if you're using your microdagger, don't give out kilometers. It's easy enough to try to translate kilometers into meters. Last but not least, it gives you the cardinal direction and the bearing in which you have to travel to get to where the cursor is pointing. So if we had to leave here and make our way to the recruit training classroom, at least I know from what I'm looking, I had to travel 008 degrees fucking north, so almost dead north to get to the recruit training classroom. And you can move the screen around by holding right click, and you can zoom out and zoom in with your fucking middle mouse button. So it's a pretty handy fucking tool. I would suggest leaving it up on the screen while you're fucking out in the field. It gives you access to degrees really quick. So, say off your right flank we have contact. Just fuck, it happens to be 009 or 09 degrees. All I do is just look at my fucking microdagger real quick. So I can get 2 out of the 3 Ds out fairly quickly. Fucking, you know, enemy on a right flank, bearing 0 9 degrees, uh, and then you can bust out with the distance. I mean, you could get a little bit more specific than that. It could be fucking depending on the numbers, enemy fire team, enemy squad, multiple enemies. You know, you can always amend what you say afterwards. Uh, but the key is to get the eyes needed on and start reacting to the enemy. So by getting 2 out of the 3, uh, you're getting eyes on pretty quick, especially the degree and the description. So you're telling them who it is and where they're at, and chances are, by the time you get out the fucking distance to it, everybody's eyes will probably have already been, everybody will have located it already. So that is all for this part. Any questions?
No, Sergeant.
All right, Sergeant Smith.
Yep.
All right, ready to move outside?
Stay firm.
All right.
Alright, go ahead and stand up.
Oh, will.
Alright, go ahead and follow me. Alright, go ahead and just grab a team leader loadout. Just need you to have a radio. But you gotta remember to get your radio and your vector. Alright, go ahead and follow me. Stand by. Alright. Alright. The following I'm about to go over just APCs, armor personnel carriers, and then we'll go next to the IFEs, which are infantry fighting vehicles. Now, but first off, these are the armor personnel carriers. What you see in front of you is a BTR. Now, there are 3 variants of BTR: BTR 60, 70, and 80. However, we're just only showing you one of them because they all look the same thing with all specifications. Now, with the turret, it has a 12.5 kpvt, and they can be matched, or not matched, but fixed with a 7.62 coaxial machine gun mounted on the side of it. BTR has a max speed of 85 kilometers an hour, which means it can go fast if it wants to, depending on the terrain. Now, the BTR can carry personnel with inside of the vehicle, which is why it's an armored personnel carrier, which means that it's extremely dangerous as it can carry troops to attack us, and at the same time, it can attack us with its own self. Now, with this APC here, it is also amphibious, which means it can travel alongside waters if it wanted to flank us. Now, with that being said, you can engage this armored piece with light anti-armor weapon systems such as the Law. You can engage it with the AT4. I'm sorry, the M136 Heat, and you can engage it with your HEDP rounds. Also, machine gunners within Weapon Squad, the M240 Bravo machine gunners, their 7.62 rounds can penetrate through the armor. However, I don't want to advise wasting ammo, but they can do that. Sometimes it's usually highly advised for them to do it, but I won't advise for you to waste your ammo on that. Just use your HEDP rounds. Now, your HEDP rounds, about 4 or 5 of them can at least make this thing go catastrophic. That's the most rounds you could use. I've taken one out with 1 or 2 rounds. And that's depending on whether or not if the vehicle probably was damaged earlier, whatsoever or not. But HEDP rounds can cause a high effect on the BTRs. Any questions for the BTR?
No, Sergeant.
Alright, good effective way to take out this armor pieces from the sides or from the rear. Not from the front. Alright, go ahead and follow me. Alright, anything that looks different from this one?
The weapon on top, Sergeant.
Copy. What kind of vehicle do you think this is? The BTR or something different? BTR. This is a BTR 80 Alpha. Now I did say that all the BTRs look exactly the same, right? This is something that's a little bit different. What looks a little different from here? From this BTR than the other BTRs.
Only the weapon, Sergeant.
Yep, the weapon. That is a 30mm auto or a high explosive cannon, which of course launches high explosive 30mm high explosive rounds. That's what makes it so significantly different than a BTR. BTR-80 Alpha is the only armored personnel carrier that can actually carry this large autocannon. With it being able to launch HE rounds, which means, and with it being automatic, which means you could take out a whole platoon if we're all at least within range and close to each other. You could take us all out with a single stroke if it wanted to, which makes this armored piece very dangerous than the rest of the BTRs, which is why we got to show you. I'm explaining the significance of this. Now, in this, it has an increased angle, allowing it to engage area targets, which means it can engage our air assets. So they've been able to even move its turret even higher than what the regular BTRs can do. Engage any airframe that may try to land, take off, or fly by, giving us support if it wanted to. If the crew in here are very, very well experienced, they could take out an airframe if they wanted to, which can cut off our resupply or anything else be crucial to us. That's it. There are very easy things for you to use or look at to distinguish this BTR from the rest of the BTRs and any other armored piece. If you look at first, you notice that the green on this is a little bit lighter than all other BTRs. One of the hard things to find out whenever they're a little spaced apart. Secondly, automatically, and what's so obvious is the turret. Turret looks very distinguishably different than the rest of the BTRs, which automatically you can tell that this is a BTR-80 Alpha. Now, BTR-80 Alpha can be taken out with the same armaments I've just told you, same weapon systems. But here's one thing that's a little different though. Whenever you're calling out these armor pieces and you tell this is an autocannon, you can tell that this is you can tell that this is the BTR-80 Alpha is based off the autocannon. So what you need to do is that you need to call this out as a BTR-80 Alpha. Even though you don't know what a 60 looks like, 70 looks like, an 80 looks like, you sure do know what an 80 Alpha looks like. So if you see both of these on the ground, you're gonna call out the BTR-80 Alpha first, then call out any other BTR. Any questions?
No, Sergeant.
Alright. Move down towards the last APC I'm going to cover is the BRDM. BRDM is normally used as a reconnaissance vehicle. With it being very small, light, and very quickly to move, this makes it the most effective vehicle for the enemy to use to get inside of an area, do some quick reconnaissance or observation, and get out of there without us even knowing it was there. Now, with the BRDM, has the same turret as the BTR has, which is 12.5 kpvt rounds. It can be equipped as well with a 7.56 coaxial machine gun. Now, in addition to that, you see Nino looks different from the BRDM.
Sergeant, this one has less wheels. Smaller profile.
Yes, we can say that has less wheels. Well, of course, we all know that it's smaller, right? Now, the wheels in the middle, those wheels can still move as well, and they use as spare tires at the same time. Now, if this vehicle gets stuck on the hill, if the hill has a sharp edge to where that the center of the vehicle is stuck between there, which none of the wheels can touch the ground, those wheels will assist the vehicle to keep on moving. Which is the reason why those in the center as well. That's my theory of it, why it's in the center, which makes it the most perfect vehicle to do reconnaissance and get out of the AO as quickly as possible. Now, the BRDMs are a little light, a little smaller, and does not pose that much of a threat as the BTR 80 Alpha can, but it poses the same amount of threat as the regular BTR. You should classify the BRDM and BTR as the same amount of threat, with them have the same amount of turrets. The only difference is that the BRDM cannot carry that many troops. They're only meant for reconnaissance, so people in the crew are meant to stay in that vehicle. Let's do, I'm serving something. Now, I do also want to expand on there is that these things are very sneaky. Once or twice occasions that I went through where BRDM was stuck towards a friendly squad multiple times without them even hearing it or knowing that it was there, and mostly wiped half of them out before they could even realize that this armored piece was behind them or near them. So always going to look out for a BRDM, and it shouldn't be that hard to distinguish between a BRDM and a BTR. One main thing to see, if you see this vehicle on the sides, you can tell that's smaller, number one. But number two, you realize it doesn't have those boxes on the side of them as well. And that it only has 4 visible tires, even though it has 4 more tires raised up for you not to see. Any questions with the BRDM?
2 questions, Sergeant.
Go ahead.
First one, is it amphibious as well?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Second question, the armor is the same as the other?
Yes. Like I said before, 12.5 kpvt. Any more questions? Nope. Alright. Go ahead and take yourself a right turn. Right, to go over are the infantry fighting vehicles, are IFVs. The ones in front of you are BMPs. There's a BMP 1, 2, and 3. The 3 is not here, but I will be touching up on a BMP 3. But first off is the BMP 1 I want to go over. Alright, sorry, the BMP 1 to your left, BMP 2 is to your right. Now, the BMP 1 is in medium armor with an anti-tank cannon. And it also has a wire-guided missile. And does have frag rounds to fire against infantry along with medium machine gun. This vehicle can also carry troops, and if you look at the rear of this armored piece, you can see that there is an actual door to open a lot of troops to dismount. However, it carries less amount of troops than what the BTR can carry. With the BTR being able to carry almost at least a squad. Almost a squad. BMP cannot carry that many. Now, what was I? Now with the BMP, with this BMP, you can take it out from these specific sides, from its center, like I said, so from the body, right here. If you got a good shot, I would advise you from hitting right between your tracks and the body. See that where I'm pointing at?
Yes, Sergeant.
That'd be a good shot right there, because you get right into the hole. There's no armor protecting that. Or you can hit it from the rear, prevent the troops from coming out, and you can probably get a shell right through this door, which is not really that much armored up. I don't know why. Okay. Stand by. Okay. All right, we're good now. All right. What was I? Oh, yeah, you get the shell right through that door, which could most likely penetrate the door and take out any crew that may be inside with the shell exploding by impact. And then, if you are lucky enough, if you're in an elevated position, get an elevated shot on this armored piece, hit the turret. And if you are good enough, I mean, like I said, the turret is the first thing to hit. But if you're good enough, hit the engine compartment. It's right here, where that thing, where you see this thing is at, where it starts smoking off, or you see smoke coming out when it's moving. If you hit right here, you get that engine compartment, making it go catastrophic. Now, which means if you have the M72 law, and when that, like I said, that rocket's a little weak, has a smaller caliber, which means that it can't really penetrate the BMP that well as it can with the B. And never use your law with the BMP. If you're in an elevated position and you want to get that good shot, hit the engine compartment, make you automatically catastrophic. You hit a turret, 80% of the time you would save the turret from its moving, so which means the vehicle can only move, and about let's say 40% chance that you could get the vehicle from no longer being mobilized, or have a chance to even be movable. All right, there we go. All right, so move on towards the BMP-2. All right, the BMP-2 has the same thing. The only thing different is it's an anti-tank guided missile, similar to our TOW missiles. Means that what it can do is that it points out a target that it wants to follow. Let's say it like this truck right behind you. All it has to do is point at the truck, launch its rocket, and as long as it's following the rocket will follow until it impacts. Now, if the turret stays at one spot, the rocket will just keep on going. If the rocket passes the truck and you try to turn your turret, that rocket cannot take a 360. So do not even expect that to happen. Alright. However, the BMPs are the same thing with the BMP-1 and BMP-2. Also do want to point out as well that this BMP also has a high explosive autocannon, which means it can launch HE shells as well. Now, tied into that, the BMP-3 has a 100mm HE cannon. However, that has to be reloaded multiple times, and it also has a 30mm autocannon as well, equipped with it. It is equipped on the side of it, and it is also equipped with a 7.62 coaxial machine gun as well. So the launch tank shells to you, to launch 30mm high explosive rounds at you, and it can shoot at you with 7.62 rounds if it wanted to. Now, if you get hit by something that sounds like a tank that hits you, don't automatically assume it's a BMP. MB2. It might be a small percentage that might be a BMP-3. So you can never know. But it's a good assumption to start off with it as a MBT. However, these guys that fight don't rarely bring out an MBT unless it's highly necessary for them to bring it. Any questions? The BMPs.
Sergeant.
Yeah, go ahead.
BMP-2. What's the cannon on top of it?
It's a 30mm high explosive cannon.
And then the BMP-1.
Do not know the caliber on that. But I believe it's a 2P Alpha 227, I believe, but don't quote me on that. I do believe it's a 2P Alpha 27, but really not too sure. Might be missing some letters in that, but that's the highest guess I can give you. I don't have my all my paper with me, so all this is going through my mind. All right, let's go ahead and move down towards the ZSU-23. Now, do you know the ZSU 23 actually has the number 23 on it? All right, the 23 signifies the caliber. And I'll go over to you a little more on that about the caliber. Now, the ZSU-23 is a mobile, well, it was designed to be a mobile anti-air weapon system. It's meant, in other words, it's meant to fight off any enemy airframes or aircraft that may be in the air that is not friendly to them. With the ZSU, it is equipped with 4 times 23mm autocannons, which means it can launch 4 shells of 23 millimeter high explosive rounds every time it launches or shoots, I should say. Now with this ESU, it has a very, very high rounds per minute rate, which is being able to launch about, I should say, in a rough estimate of 50 rounds every 5 seconds or 2 seconds whatsoever. This thing is very, very enough in taking out any of our air transport vehicles. If it puts enough rounds to our A10, enough rounds to the A10, it can take out the A10 as well. Now, the reason why I say if it puts enough rounds to the A10 is because that A10 was designed to combat against the Shoka or the ZSU, and the ZSU is also codenamed as Shoka as well, our designated NATO designated name. Now, with the ZSU, like I said, it has 4 times 33 millimeter autocannons. And also very significant for you to distinguish this between any other armor piece because that big old radar dish looks like a drum. So if you see this thing hiding behind a wall and you see that radar dish sticking out, then you can tell that's the ZSU-23. You should better get that rocket ready. Now, with it also being able to engage your air assets, it can also engage ground assets as well. If it puts itself in a good hill and has itself in a down slope position where it can engage ground infantry, it can do that as well. It can engage ground infantry by not even being on a hill. It can be on a flat level like it is right now. If we were about maybe 100 meters away or in front of it, it can effectively engage this as well. So the ZSU is not only dangerous to our assets, but also dangerous to us as well. Alright, once again, the ZSU is also known as Shoka. Any questions with the Shoka?
Weak point, Sergeant, on the tank?
This thing has almost the same amount of armament as the BTR. You can take this out with the Law if you wanted to, or with the M136, but you cannot take it out with the 320. Weak sides are from its sides and from its rear, like any other armored piece, or from the top. They always designed the front to be very heavily armored because that's where the crew is looking through, or at least that's what the crew is behind, and that's where you always be seeing that the side of that armored piece, and whenever it's engaging you. What do I want to point out? All right, so also there's its big brother, which is a Tunguska. Tunguska this time only has 2 30mm autocannons instead of 4 23mm autocannons. With it having 2 30mm autocannons, it also has about approximately, a total of, I know just for sure, a total of 8 surface-to-air missiles equipped with it. Now, the reason why this makes it that more higher threat is because, once again, the caliber has increased. Even though it only has 4, I'm only doing has 2 instead of 4. However, the caliber has increased, which means is now more effective to engage A10, which is why Tunguska was created, to combat the newest enemy, or combat the A10 actually is mainly meant to combat the A10 and other airframes that were created that could withstand 23mm rounds. This can actually effectively damage A10 with this 30mm rounds, number 1. And number 2, with its surface-to-air missiles, this means that it can also shoot at our pilots with its 30mm autocannon, 30mm HE rounds, and it can launch a missile, allowing our 18 pilots have to fight off the missile, dodge the missile, and